What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of Homebrew Subaru. In this episode, I say goodbye to an old friend. So what's up, everyone? I did manage to work on the wagon a few hours this week and got some more parts off of it. I ended up cutting the ECU harness right at the firewall. The harness on these cars kind of goes really in behind the dash, in behind the HVAC system, or the box anyway, and just to start kind of splitting it from the rest of the dash harness, there's no point in me doing that because I wouldn't be using that harness to run a body anyway, or I can always branch off of it if I need to, and I'll probably have to do a lot of wiring, whether I want to extend the harness or shorten it. It might be something I never use, but the harness is cut on both ends. I have both ends of it, and I have the ECU. I took out the passenger seat, the tail lights. I took the throttle cable and the pedal assembly just in case I would like to use that again. So I'm kind of at the end. The only a couple little things I want left is like the hood scoop and splitter. I want to cut the other seat belt out of it. Buddy's going to come by and still kind of see if there's anything else he might want. And the car is ready to go. So the plan for me to try and accomplish this weekend is just to get the car out onto the street and come back into the garage and clean this thing, because I get parts everywhere. The floor is covered in, probably a pound off of the old wagon of rust and dust and dirt. Things are kind of cluttered up on both sides of the, where I bring in the car. So I've got to do a cleanup. The reason that is going to take me a little bit of time is there's the two old seats that were in the 240 are in the Legacy. They're just kind of sitting in there and they're garbage, and literally I want to get them out and into this car so that they can go for scrap with the car. At the same time, I've got a lot of scrap metal that needs to go into the car. So the old KA block, an old EJ block over there, and just a pile of metal otherwise. And I've got a little bit of metal at the side of the house. That's all got to go into the car. And then I've got to manage to push this thing, so I might actually have to call over a neighbor and help him to push it. Getting it to roll out and out onto the street might not be too bad, but actually pushing it back forward, I don't know. We'll see what kind of weight it is. Maybe I can manage it myself. We'll have to see. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking this is going to just be a little bit more of an update video. I'm not going to have a lot of footage, I don't think, but I'll do the little tribute for the car and kind of show you what's going on as I go along.
Slowly drifting by, all the poems I wrote for you, they made me blind, they made me lie. Heard you in the rain, will you always be there? Last thing you said.
So yes, 240 started right up. Got it pulled out. I asked a friend to come over, or one of my neighbors to come over, a buddy of mine, to help push out the car. And without having those rear lateral bolts in, the rear wheels just start going outwards like that, and it becomes impossible to push because they're just going up into the body. So I tried to save those long lateral arm bolts. Looks like I'm probably going to have to put them back in just to get this thing to roll away, because the tow truck's not going to take it like that unless it picks it up from the rear. Kind of done with it. I don't want to work on this thing anymore. I did end up leaving the fuel pump in it. It's like 7 years old. It was a cheap performance pump the time that I bought it, so going into the new car I will probably end up buying a replacement pump. So we just pushed the car back in. 240 still outside running, and I'm basically gonna have to pull it back into the garage, or back into the driveway, and then kind of come up with plan B, what I'm gonna do here. Okay, so I'm moving forward on plan B. Gonna jack up the wagon, put the lateral bolts back into it so the wheels don't flop all over the place and it can be towed away. I should have been thinking of that when I was taking them out and trying to save them, that the trailing arms wouldn't hold the thing stationary. Nissan's back in the driveway. Put the car cover on it because it's raining. It seems to be running on 5 cylinders, so I'm gonna have to take a look at that at some point. The plan is to get rid of this car and prep the 240 for the street, because the insurance will run out on the RS, and I'd kind of like to just put the 240 on the road at that time, see what that happens. But so yeah, I'm going to jack up the car, put the bolts in, try and get my neighbor back over, move things all around again, and try this all over. Okay, so I did manage to get everything moved around. The wagon is outside. It's raining, but it's not raining too hard. So yeah, the thing is fully stripped. I'm not quite sure what my buddy wants to come by and have a look at to see if he wants, but I'll call my guy to come pick it up this week, and hopefully he can. It's going to be sitting out here for a while, and it's got some jagged edges on it. One thing I do need to get is this wiper switch. It's an intermittent wiper switch, and it came out of the Forester, just to give this car intermittent wipers because I usually drove it. But yeah, other than that, there is nothing else I really need off of it. As you can see, I've got quite a lot of sweeping to do, and then plenty of organization. The bench is just completely covered. The seats, and I mean the tool tray, I kind of need to do something with that because the casters broke off the bottom of it. Move the crane, kind of sort out the transmissions. There's still a lot to do. So yeah, here is a little tribute to the car of when I had pictures taken from over the years, from when I got it, and basically from the car that I ended up damaging and kind of putting in the ditch, transferring the parts to this one, and then using it over the past few years.
How do I say goodbye to what we had? The good times that made us laugh outweigh the bad. I thought we could be forever, but forever's hard. It's so hard to After the rain, it's so hard to say goodbye. And I'll take the memories to keep my sunshine after the rain. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. So hard to say goodbye.
So yeah, that is that. I know it wasn't much of a video, but it's just stuff that I had to get done, and I'm glad that it finally is. Things are switched around, and that's where I need it to be right now. Need to do a major garage cleanup, and then think about doing something with those STI seats to clean them up and put them in the new car if that's what I decide to do. And also maybe pull in a friend's car to do that before I get started on other things again. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I will see you in the next one.